Welcome. This is a recap of the Monday, December 5th, 2022 City Council meeting held at 6:30 this evening. The regular meeting, the agenda was rather short. We did adopt a resolution awarding the sale of $10 million worth of taxable general obligation temporary bonds for the Civic Center. And they are temporary until some of the funding sources shake out, the money from the state, different granting agencies. The city maintained our AA- rating from Standards & Poor, which is very good for a city our size. And there were a number of reasons for that were cited. I just wrote down a couple, but there were certainly more than this. The increase in home values, which is happening all over the place, but alongside commercial development, that commercial development is happening at the same time that the housing values are going up. We'll close on this bond on December 22nd. The bond came in at 4.9%, which is about 0.5% less than we were expecting. Certainly it's higher than some of the road projects we've done over the past 6, 7, maybe even 10 years. But we know that with inflation and interest rates are going up on mortgages, on car loans, on everything. So we knew that the rate would be higher, but it was 0.5% less than what we expected. The bond is for a maximum of 3 years and can be paid off after December 1st next year. So about a year from now, we can choose to pay it off and then issue new bonds if it makes sense when we have the final funding sources will be, if we will have other granting agencies or not. We moved on to nominate Council Member Adams to the Rams Board of Directors. Normally we do our appointments in our first January meeting, but we need to do this one now because he is on the Board of Directors. What we do is we nominate our representative to the group, but to be on the Board of Directors, you have to go through an election, and he's been on that the last 2 years, and so he is running for re-election to that board next week, actually. So we had to get his nomination in. After that, we took a quick break, and then we had our public hearing on the 2022 levy that's payable in 2023 and the 2023 budget as stated in the Truth-In-Taxation statements. We had a couple of community members come to us that expressed concern with their tax statements that came in. I guess I'll just put some highlights of what we talked about out there. First off, the city, it's more or less what our budget is for the year, stayed the same from last year. And that's even with salaries increasing due to employee contracts, health insurance going up, and the 7 to 8% inflation on all the things that we pay for the city, including fuel and supplies and everything else. We were able to keep the budget the same as last year. To do that, we had to borrow from our reserves, but the council decided it was worth doing that. Just under $500,000 were borrowed. Before people are concerned about that, over the past few years, we've increased the fund balance by about $2 million over the past 8 years or so. Our budget stayed the exact same as last year. Because of that, our city tax rate actually fell from 82.55 points to 71.66%. So that if your house stayed the same, your city taxes would have gone down about 1/8, so about 12.5%. But we also know that many people's housing values increase substantially, and all the stories I'm hearing, everybody's at a different amount. It all depends on sales within your area and within your home value range, and that's done by the county. And they have to adjust it if there are sales of similar houses that are more. And we know that housing has been selling for a lot more than in the past, so our assessed values have to be more. So the city did what we thought we could by lowering the tax rate, not increasing the budget, even though we've had a number of increases in expenses. And we've even cut some positions within the city over the past few years to make this happen. I know the council members, some of us, including myself, had our property taxes go up. A couple had a slight decrease. And so it really differs from home to home. All we have control of is the budget and the tax rate. And we did what we thought we could with that by keeping it at no increase and lowering the tax rate 12%. So with that, we meet again 2 weeks from tonight on December 19th, and our meeting will be back at our normal time of 5 o'clock. Hope everybody stays warm, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.